Welcome to Hide and Seek TV. I'm back again. I'm going to do a very deep video concerning time. And I want to talk about that gamble because time is running out. You know, it's about who you serve, Christ or Satan. You know, it's about which God will you serve, the God of this world or the God of heaven. You know, it's all about who will you serve. So anyway, Chauncey Billups, obviously the name Bill is derived from William, which just goes into Exodus 3:14. The Father says he's the I am that I am, the will of God, the William. And then obviously, you got Terry Rozier named William. Terry Rozier plays for the Miami Heat. And then you got Chauncey Billups, who coached the Trail Blazers. The Blazers is the fire. And as you can see right there, that logo, it's a spiral. It deals with the spiral. You know what I mean? It deals with that spiral. And that's why they just got Damian Lillard back. You remember on the movie The Omen, remember Damian was just the Antichrist. So you see how all of that stuff all comes together. People going into that hell pit because it's about making that choice to choose. We can't be lukewarm. You know what I'm saying? So it goes into Deuteronomy 30:19. I call heaven and earth this day to record against you, that I have set both before you both life and death. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. So this is very important. You know what I mean? It's very important to know that we're in that time of knowing we have to make that choice and we got to walk by faith and not by sight and avoiding the snares of the devil. Amos, it's going into that thin line between love and hate. We can't keep walking that thin line. You got to stay either you love God or you hate God. So in Amos 7:7-8, thus he showed me, and behold, the Lord stood upon a wall made by a plumb line with a plumb line in his hand. And the Lord said unto me, Amos, what seest thou? And I said, a plumb line. Then said the Lord, behold, I will set a plumb line in the midst of my people Israel. I will not pass by them again anymore. So it's about knowing, which side are you on. So anyway, you got the Bohemian, that elephant demon. They're just allegory. But notice in the circus, the elephant love to walk that he's big and overweight, but he's acrobatic, and he like to try to walk that tightrope. So I'm going to delve into this. This is very important stuff. So you know how they say elephants never forget. So I'm going to be going into time on this in this video. So I'm going to go right into the element of time, and I'm going to explain that. But notice how elephants don't forget because, Christ is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the eternal one. It's very important to understand that. So as it's written in that day, there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord, and there should be four signs for witness unto the Lord of hosts, which are a shadow of things to come, but the bodies of Christ. So the body of Christ. So you see the shadow of things to come. So, obviously the elephant demon, the behemoth, he like to cast his shadow. And that's what black identity is really about. People saying I'm black, some whites, all of that stuff, all of the false race that Satan created, to war against humanity. So, as I explained millions of times, the holy kingdom of Judah is rising. Revelation 2:9, those who call themselves Jews and are not, but are the synagogue, goes into the isle of the Gentiles. That goes into the Gentile nations. Then obviously the Hebrews fall into Shem. Then the so-called Africans fall into Ham. But the whole thing, the three sons of Noah, Shem, Japheth, and Ham. Japheth, the Gentiles, Shem, the Hebrews, and Ham, the so-called Africans. But anyway, Shem, you have, obviously you have the Hebrews, which brings forth, Jacob comes through Shem. Obviously Jacob was a Hebrew, and he become Israel. And then through Israel, obviously the head tribe, the 12 tribes of Israel, you have Judah as the head tribe.